This is the Fuel Something Bigger storytelling series.
I'm your host, Raymond Braun, and we're here in Chicago kicking off the ZOA Fuel Something Bigger storytelling series, 103 Stories in the Sky. First up, we're talking to Solo Sam, a multi-hyphenate making big contributions to the culture in Chicago. I want to know what makes the music scene in Chicago special.
I think Chicago's music scene, it's representative of our work ethic. I feel like everybody has their own individual sound that they want to put into their music. It sounds really soulful and passionate, so that's what I love about Chicago, really.
One of the reasons why I was so excited to talk about you is you're making a big impact on the culture in Chicago, not just in music, but also culinary and community building. And so I love that you defy just having like one lane or one thing that you're focused on. Talk to me about the evolution on the culinary side and how you got started there.
Yeah, so definitely for me, it started as just really being a broke college student, and you leave college and you're like, I can't just order Uber Eats all the time. So I just got into cooking and I really loved it. And for me, it was very cathartic. The process of doing food was a way that I could be creative without the pressure that you would on like a career of a music artist. And food really does invigorate and help me creatively when music can be kind of daunting. I just feel like food allows me to push myself out of comfort zones, and that translates into me doing that with music.
But tell me more about how you're building community in Chicago around both food and music.
Yeah, so Be Eats really is representative of the things that I love, which is food and music. And the most important thing for those parties for me is that they're free. You come there, you try food, you'll make new friends, you'll hear some great DJs that you can support, and you can have some amazing food.
There are a lot of people that have that creative dream or that creative spark, but they maybe do the job that their parents want them to do or that feels more practical or safe. So what advice would you give to those people?
When it comes down to deciding kind of a risky career path, I think it's all perspective. Is as long as you can visualize others who have pursued it, it isn't impossible in any means. You know, The Rock, he was WWE football, WWE, and then he converted to, entertainment and entrepreneur ventures. And that just goes to show that it really isn't always going to look the way you think it will. And you just really have to be persistent and flexible and just believe that it's possible. You just have to find a way.
To kind of close it out, what does Feel Something Bigger mean to you?
I think Feel Something Bigger is taking the time and awareness to leave this world in a better place than you came into it.
I love how you think about the bigger as community.
Yeah,
And
it really is. We're all we have, but we're all we need.
Next up, we're chatting with Flowers for Dreams, which is not only making Chicago more beautiful with their flower arrangements, but also giving back to important nonprofits throughout the community. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that design for the business and how you kind of grew it in such a way that as you were growing and finding success, you were also giving back?
We're like, this is a big opportunity. What if we could connect flowers to a deeper, kind of bigger meaning? We've now given $1.3 million to local charity, all through the sale of our bouquets. And this is all through the network of charities that we've built, over 200 small charities that we've helped support. This pipeline of amazing untapped talent and unappreciated talent, whether they're for refugees or immigrants or folks with disabilities. We've been able to again and again find a place and a career for them.
One of the big things that we're all about is that it's never too late to reinvent yourself. People have endless potential within them.
Every artist was first an amateur. Every artist, whoever the artist that you may think of, at some point they were learning Photoshop. At some point they picked up that easel for the first time ever, and they were just splatting paint on canvas. You have to start somewhere in life, period. And we love that we're able to give the opportunity for those who have a love or an appreciation for flowers to start at Flowers for Dreams and build their career there.
So when's the last time you got flowers?
That's, oh gosh, guys deserve flowers too, right? Almost never.
See, you're the flower guys, and I want to get you guys flowers.
You've hit me with a question that's deep. Like, I'm actually thinking, when is the last time I've ever putting a boutonniere on my chest for my wedding day?
Yeah, I'm thinking hard. Sadly, it's probably for a condolence.
I remember reading a stat, and you guys will correct me on this, but a majority of men have never gotten flowers. Is that correct?
Yeah.
We got to change that.
Yeah.
Men don't send the flowers as much as people think. And then, of course, almost none of them receive. And 98% of our recipients are also female. And so there's like an appreciation gap of the small moments.
I think that more men should send each other flowers and appreciate them, and also just be open to building community and talking to each other. Next up, we're gonna meet a fitness expert who's making working out more accessible by helping all of her clients unlock their superhero potential. So tell me, you have a special type of gym, I hear?
Yeah, so
Tell me about your gym.
we have a superhero gym. So I believe we all are our own superheroes. I loved comics growing up. A lot. And I just feel like if you start unlayering what society shows you, you start just kind of feeling like what actually feels natural to you.
What kind of advice or encouragement would you give to someone who literally is afraid to even walk into a gym, even one as welcoming as yours?
I mean, one is that a lot of people that are in the gym are working on themselves. And so my best advice would really just be like, take a step back, breathe, and like make sure that you're doing this because like, you deserve it.
I love that. Going into any exercise plan with intentionality about really celebrating your body and what it's capable of versus needing to hit some aesthetic goal or weight goal, I think is so helpful.
And I think like people look really good when they're happy. And when you're happy and you're doing something because you love yourself, you're gonna start doing it more and more and more, and you're gonna be excited doing it. And then you start like finding other people that are excited doing things that are helping themselves, and it transfers to everything, not just fitness, it's life. Like how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes, that's so true. I can tell already what a motivating coach you are, and I bet the vibes in your gym are just incredible.
I sat down with a trailblazing veteran who advocates for mental health, inclusion, and making sure all moms take care of themselves too.
I've read and I hear a lot about mental health for veterans in particular.
It is a very big topic that no one talks about. You know, when you're in the service, there's a lot of negative stigma towards finding help, going to behavioral health or getting a therapist, things like that. Finding someone to talk to was probably the best thing I could have ever done for myself, and I was able to do that at West Point and start there and have that community, a comfortable community.
And you mentioned that you were transitioning out of the service
Yes.
when around the time that you had your first child.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the main reason for the change?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got pregnant with our son, RJ. 20 weeks in, we found out he has a heart defect, which is most likely coupled with Down syndrome. And later, both were confirmed.
What advice would you give to other moms, especially those who maybe are getting the diagnosis?
Don't get ahead of yourself. It's so hard to not look into the future and not worry about everything you're gonna have to face, what might happen, what might not happen. Be present in the moment as best as you can. Find your village, and don't forget that like you still deserve time for you, especially as a mom.
One of the things that I personally don't think we talk about as much is caretakers taking care of themselves.
That's taken me some time, a lot of time. And I think when you got to kind of catch it and recognize it before you might explode, if you will. But working out is my ultimate stress reliever. I have to have at least 30 minutes of my time on the treadmill, lifting weights, doing something to give back to my body and fueling my body.
Bridget, thank you so much, and thank you for your service and for being so open. I really love chatting. What an amazing time in Chicago for the Fuel Something Bigger storytelling series. Thanks so much to everyone who shared their stories. We'll see you on the next stop.